races in 7 days. MotoGP's 2021 season is underway as we remain in Qatar for the second of our back-to-back races at the Losail International Circuit. Will it be double delight today for Maverick Vinales? Can the Ducatis power their way to the top? Or is there another surprise in store in Doha? It's a unique layout, and just about every time the MotoGP machines have rolled out of pit lane, there's been different conditions faced. 16 corners here in Qatar, and anyone's guess who's going to take the spoils here tonight. The best race lap record was actually taken by the race winner 7 days ago, Maverick Vinales, with a 54.624. Overtaking hot spots, so many. Turn 16, well, we've seen some moments, magic moments here. 2019, of course, comes immediately to mind. Dovi versus Marquez. Coming up next, though, Jorge Martin starts from pole position. Can he make history again tonight? If he doesn't, Pramac Ducati's hopes rest with Johann Zarco, the Frenchman, second in the World Championship, second on the grid. Will it be back-to-back wins for the first time in 4 years for Maverick Vinales, who starts from third, just as he did last week? And there are big questions of Miller after last week. Can he bounce back and take top spot for the factory Ducati racing team? Welcome back to the Losail International Circuit. It's been quite the night so far. It's been quite the trip to Qatar, full stop. A brilliant season opener 1 week ago today. And Moto3 and Moto2 have delivered as well. We won't give away those results. The Qatar flag flies. Thank you to everyone involved to make this possible, to get us underway in 2021. The tail of the tape, well, you're going to see them all out on action. Jorge Martin, the rookie from Madrid, starts on pole alongside Johann Zarco and Maverick Vinales. Weather-wise, temperatures perfect, track temperatures perfect. There is some wind though, but who will be dancing into Doha later on tonight? Maverick Vinales comes into this one then with the 25 points in his back pocket from his win 7 days ago ahead of Zarco and Bagnaia, with Mir, of course, being mugged on the line, the world champion. He missed out overall, but all the headlines from last night after an unbelievable qualifying session belong to this man, number 89, the former Moto3 world champion, Matt, who's on pole tonight. Number 89, Jorge Martin.
Yeah, he got a reputation, didn't he, as the undisputed king of qualifying in Moto3, and what a performance last night. He lit up the night sky in Qatar. Jorge Martin, a 1:53.106, comfortably taking his first pole position in the Premier class. Just getting some words of encouragement there from rider coach Fonzi Nieto. He doesn't expect to be a part of the victory battle or the podium battle tonight. It's all about experience gathering for this young man, the 23-year-old Spaniard, 2018 Moto3 world champion. He's confident though he can hang in there and fight for a place in the top six. He hasn't got the experience and the speed though of much more experienced riders around him like Johann Zarco, Maverick Vinales, who start from the front row. But this man has had 10 days on a MotoGP bike. It looks like he's been on it for 10 years. And what an opportunity to see him going about his business at turn 10. Watch this and be amazed, ladies and gentlemen. This is a rookie sensation. Elbow down, shoulder down almost as well. Absolutely astonishing by Jorge Martin. Ducati's first 1-2 on a MotoGP podium since Jorge Lorenzo and Andrea Dovizioso were first and second in Aragon 2018. And they've got that 1-2 because this man, Johann Zarco, was a brilliant second, making it a Pramac Ducati 1-2 as well.
Yeah, the new and improved Johann Zarco, older, wiser, He's been given that second chance, hasn't he? And he's taken it with both hands. Second on the grid, and the bookies fancy him to be perhaps the only man that can match Maverick Vinales' pace in this one. Number 5 will be probably one of the firm favourites to go into turn 1 in P1. It's gone pretty well so far for him. He's been strong in testing, strong last week as well. He was just missing maybe one key ingredient, but a great job from him.
You've got to go back to the 1950s, yes, that far back, the last time two Frenchmen stood together on a podium in the Premier class. Could that happen tonight? Johann Zarco looking in great nick, and Fabio Quartararo very bullish about his prospects going into this second 22-lap battle in Qatar. He starts from 5th place on the Monster Energy Yamaha YZR RM1, very encouraged by his pace in FP4 last night. If you looked at the riders that did sub 155.5s in that 4th practice session, well, nobody could hold a candle to Quartararo. He did 12, 4 more than the next best man.
Well, here he is then, Maverick Vinales. We'd never seen anything quite like what we saw last week from this young man, Maverick Vinales. So often in the past he's been criticised when it comes to Sundays, but we couldn't criticise a single thing 7 days ago, Matt. He had everything.
It was vintage Vinales in many respects, wasn't it? For me, by far, the best MotoGP race of his career, and he's had a few, to be fair, as Maverick Vinales, the 26-year-old Spaniard. Not had back-to-back wins since the stellar start to his factory Yamaha career back in 2017 when he won in Qatar, and then followed that up with a brilliant victory in Termas de Rio Hondo in Argentina. He'd love to make it back-to-back wins here tonight to make the perfect start. Probably most of the field, or the whole of the field, will go for the Michelin soft front and rear tyre combination again. Of course, it was rear tyre problems that really saw Jack Miller fall out of contention last weekend. 3rd and looking comfortable for most of the race, and then an alarming drop-off, particularly on the right-hand side of his tyre, left him in 9th place. Not what he was wanting or expecting on his factory Ducati debut.
It's a big night for the factory boys tonight. Pecco Bagnaia under a little less pressure, I would say, than Jack Miller. A lot of eyes looking at Jack. Here's Lusail City, Doha down the road as well. Simon, I just want to come to you before we get going, before the riders exit pit lane. We know, of course, we've been in Qatar for so long, it should all just be so obvious what everyone goes for race strategy-wise, and yet every time we go out on circuit, something different appears. What is going to be the strategy here tonight?
Yeah, I agree, Steve. It's so difficult to call. You know, everyone's so close, machinery's so close. I'll run through what I think is going to happen tonight. Look, the Ducatis are fastest over 1 lap, you know, but they suffer over the distance because they, you know, that powerful V4 start, you know, the engine and the start-stop style they use. I think it's going to use more rear tyre like it did last week. The Yamahas of Vinales and Quartararo have the best pace that I've seen from the first lap to the finish, you know, like as in race pace. You know, if they're unimpeded, they've got the best pace, and so do the Suzukis. You know, they can do it as well. And I'll explain a little bit why I think that. So, you know, the only strategy I see for the Ducati to win tonight is to keep the pace from reaching a too high a level, you know, by passing the opposition back repeatedly. You know, they didn't manage to fight back and stop Vinales last week, but they can on the straight. They can use that power and keep getting in front of him, and by doing that, he has to use more rear tyre. He can't keep the corner speed going. He has to use hard acceleration off the turns and use more rear tyre. So, you know, and I think that's the only way they can stop them. One other thing, I think the hard bit for the Yamaha boys is Jorge Martin. Did you see his start last week? You know, listeners, P14 to P4. If he does anything like a start like that, he should lead into turn 1. But either way, it'll be all the Dukes into turn 1 leading, I think. It should be, because they're so good off the line. And then it's, yeah, I think it's going to play out, like I said, they've got to stop the inlines from running the pace that they can if they're let to go free unimpeded. The only other couple of things I feel strong about would be, you know, from a rider's point of view, Alicia and the Aprilia got a good, solid result last Sunday. I would be tempted, if I was a rider, to, you know, rider mentality, to throw caution to the wind a bit and really attack today. That could end in a few different scenarios, you know, like from something really starry to the gravel, you know. The only other thing I'm curious about really is how long can Jorge Martin hang on for, because he should be at the front. How long can the rookie keep those tyres going? You know, it should be super exciting.
Yeah, thanks for that. Here is the man, Jorge Martin. So many riders we just saw there that will be in contention. You can never rule out the Suzukis, no matter where they're starting from. They start from row 3, Rins and Mir. We saw what happened last week. If Mir can get off the line well, you just have to believe he's in the mix for the win, Matt.
Yeah, he feels like he's in a much better place than this time last week when he had that rousing fight back from 10th to 2nd. It looked like he was going to start the defence of his world title from the podium, but of course that small minuscule mistake through the last corner, he got blitzed by the red rockets of Bagnaia and Zarco. And what about this man? Well, no dramas for Maverick Vinales. Problems this weekend for that man Franco Morbidelli. A wretched start on Friday when he had a couple of mechanical problems, but his teammate, Petronas Yamaha SRT legend Valentino Rossi, qualified in 21st place last night, the worst qualifying of the Doctor's long, distinguished and illustrious career. A lot of work to do from Rossi, and you've got to say, in terms of his race pace as well over the course of this weekend, there's nothing really to suggest that he's got the speed to get himself back on par for a top 10 finish. Maybe a salvage job to the points, but it's going to be a long, long night for Rossi.
Johann Zarco has decided to sit out on a couple of the afternoon sessions. A mistake on Friday really cost him and shook him a bit. He's been focusing on the job ahead at night. Now everyone went for the soft front, soft rear. We're expecting the same again here tonight, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the tyres are going to react in the same way. The wind changes direction here. Dust can get blown on. There seems to be different levels of humidity from night to night. We expected stronger wind coming into tonight, and that seems to have dropped a bit as well. We really don't know what is to come, and that's just the way we like it in MotoGP.
The rapidly expanding skyline of Doha, located about, what, 25, 30 kilometres away from this famous Losail International Circuit. A very condensed population as well, of course. You can see there 90% of the Qatari population lives in Doha. You cannot believe how much the skyline has changed since we first came here to the Losail International Circuit back in 2004.
Here is Alex Rins. Really loved something on Instagram Alex Rins did yesterday where he sets his alarms and then it's like 8 o'clock, turn on the launch control system, which he didn't do this time last week when the lights went out.
And what a special moment then in this young man's career. Jorge Martin coming to the front of a MotoGP grid for the very first time in his career. The 23-year-old who was so good, particularly in qualifying in Moto3. One lap speed for that young man, and the risk he's willing to take, the confidence he has on soft rubber, both Dunlop in Moto3 and Moto2, and now Mitchell in MotoGP, is astonishing. And if he does get a stupendous start off the line like he did here 1 week ago, well, they won't see which way he went. Now, last weekend, Maya Merigali's crystal ball was working an absolute treat, because when he spoke to Simon Crafar pre-race 7 days ago, he predicted and expected there would be a drop-off of tyre performance for the factory Ducatis. It absolutely was bang on the money, that assessment, and that allowed Maverick Vinales to take the first 25 points of the season. What's he predicting tonight, Simon? More of the same, I'd imagine. Maya Merigali with Simon down in pit lane.
Yeah, we're about to find out. Mayo, I've just been bigging up your two riders, how fast their pace over long distances. What do you think's going to happen tonight?
Yeah, it's difficult to predict tonight. I think last weekend I did the wrong prediction, but here, first of all, the second race is always more difficult. Everybody is always more fast. We had a really good, promising FP4, but I don't know if that is enough. The tire degradation is a big question mark. I think to manage the tire in the right way will give to everybody the possibility to win. And now it's difficult that I can be optimistic to be first, second, the first corner, and they have to be brave and try to pass them if they think that they want to try to win the race.
Mayo, just something I'm thinking from what you've said. You said tyre degradation, a big question mark. We've been here a long time. The only thing I think that's changed that I can feel is temperature. Is that something to do with it? Or why is it such a big question mark after racing here last week?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't give you an answer because in this, unfortunately, during this weekend, the weather didn't help us also to do some development because every time we try to make some change, but it was too risky to take a decision because we couldn't have a really comparison. So we choose for the safety way and we kept the bike more or less same as last weekend. And let's see if what we do will pay off.
Mayo, thank you and best of luck.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks very much, Simon. Good questioning there. Thanks to Mauro Meregali as well. You can understand their reluctance to change the setup of Maverick Vinales' machine, but even Mauro Meregali, with all of the data that they've got from Maverick, from Fabio as well, throughout all the sessions, they still don't know what's going to happen in this race. One thing I feel like we could probably factually say is that I can't see the Yamaha being in P1 into turn 1.
No, not if Jorge Martin replicates his stunning start of 1 week ago. He might be getting into sector 2 with a 1.5 second lead.
It's the light show here at the Losail International Circuit. We saw this last week as well. It was time to shine then, and it is again tonight. We were dealt a spectacular show. You can see the brilliant Losail International Circuit. There's nothing quite like it, racing under lights to kick off 2021 or any season.
Yeah, it's been their unique selling point since 2008. What a spectacular show. What a way to get us revved up and warmed up for this second MotoGP battle in 7 days here in Qatar.
Right, well, the lights are all back on. It looks like we're ready to go racing. Let's pop down onto the grid. What a night this is in prospect for Francesco Guidotti and the Pramac racing team. They've been so close to victory in MotoGP. Is tonight their night? Let's go down to Simon on the grid.
Francesco, how does it feel to have two of your machines, or both of your machines, first and second on the grid? And how are you expecting tonight to play out?
It's an awesome feeling for sure. Unusual, unfortunately. And what I expect, I don't know. There's a lot of contenders, so we have to be fast. At the same time, manage energy and tires. So we'll be 22 laps without breathing.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck to Francesco Guidotti and his two riders, Martin and Zarco. So your front row is Martin, Zarco, Vinales. Row 2, this man, Miller, 4th, Quartararo 5th, Bagnaia 6th. Intrigued, Matt, I am, to see what sort of race is coming here from Jack Miller. He's expected to win when you go into factory Ducati colours you are, and in testing everything looked great. Last week it looked like there was a hiccup, but then if he's got the tyre this week, surely there's no excuses. It's got to be a podium tonight.
No, 9th place in his factory Ducati debut was not what Jack was expecting. Nobody was more miffed and gutted than Jack himself. Trust us, we all spoke to him, and he was absolutely gutted to have slumped to 9th place. There were mitigating circumstances, but it is a big night. He looked comfortable. He felt like he was comfortable managing the rear tyre in the first third of last weekend's race. He was looking strong in 3rd place, and then we do know that on the right-hand side in particular, off throttle, he ran into some pretty major rear grip problems. Aleix Espargaro, reporting them afterwards as well, said, you know, it was a real struggle to watch Jack. He was pretty much a passenger on that GP21. He will not like, though, being outpaced by the Pramac Ducatis. He's going to certainly want to get ahead of Zarco and Jorge Martin tonight.
The ever-expanding Doha really does look spectacular at night. Let's find out then. Well, we just talked about Miller, we talked about Bagnaia. What about Paolo Ciabatti? What is he expecting here tonight? Can he get all three men maybe on the podium now? That would be something, wouldn't it? Let's go down to Simon now. He's with Paolo.
Paolo, I wouldn't be surprised if 4 of your machines are in the front at the start of this race after the drag to the first turn and the early lap or 3. I want to know what you want your riders to do from then, because they're going to come under attack, big attack from the inline fours.
Yeah, actually, also in the first race 1 week ago, we had 4 Ducatis in the lead after the first corner. So I think it's a possibility because we are in the first and the second row and we have a very good starting device. Obviously, what we like to do, and we told our riders to be careful at the first corner between themselves, and then let's see, because I think the strategy of this race will pay in the end, because as you know, it's all about saving the tires for the second part of the race. I think we learned something from last Sunday. The condition is pretty similar in terms of temperature, maybe a little bit less windy, which is good. And then we'll see. I think it's going to be between us, the Yamahas, and I think the Suzuki's also, normally they have a very good race pace. So interesting race, good to have 4 Ducatis in the first 2 rows.
Good luck, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to Ducati Corsa Sporting Director Paolo Cibatti. Well, he thinks it's going to be a tyre conservation race, but they've had a past master at that, Andrea Dovizioso. Can Johann Zarco, Jorge Martin, Jack Miller or Pecco Bagnaia follow in the footsteps and the tyre tracks of Dovizioso here? 2 wins for the Italian in late battles, great scraps with Marc Marquez.
Shinichi Sahara, well, Suzuki's were just mentioned by Paolo Cibatti and the opposition. What does Shinichi Sahara make of the chances tonight? A good start, and you have to believe Mir and Rins will be in the battle. Let's go down to Simon on the grid now.
Yeah, and we're on the 3rd row tonight, Sahara-san. It looks good, you know. It looks like, for me, it feels like you have even bigger possibilities than last week. How do you feel?
Yes, to be honest, 3rd row is okay for us, and just I hope they make a better start than last week. Also, they repeat again the same strategy of the race for the better result in the end.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, best of luck. We've seen a couple of riders on the grid who are probably going to be quite pleased to see the back of Qatar, Franco Morbidelli being one of them. You just saw another there, Alex Marquez. The Hondas have really struggled here. Likewise, the KTMs, Alex Marquez and Taka Nakagami for LCR. They need to just stay upright, really, in this race.
Yeah, that's all been related, Steve, to tyre allocation. They can't run the hard or medium front tyre. They've had to run the soft, which doesn't give them the grip in the second half race. But, and with a big but, there's some intriguing tyre news just coming through from Michelin pre-race. All 4 KTMs, Danilo Petrucci, Miguel Oliveira, Brad Binder and Iker Lecuona have decided to run that medium Michelin front tyre. No better person to ask exactly the reasoning behind that decision, because Simon Crayford is down on the grid with Mike Leitner from KTM. Simon, over to you.
Yeah. Mike, the first race was a tough one for you. Watching from pit lane, it looks like you've been working really hard. There's a lot of different settings I see, even this morning with Danilo, both the factory boys. It looks like you're really trying to make some progress. It feels to me that you are. And I've just heard that you're going to go with the medium front tyres. Want to know your thoughts?
Yeah, Simon, you are right. I mean, last week was very tough for us, especially the last third of the race. Until there, we've been, let's say, not so bad on the way. But we are really fighting to keep our front tire, the soft compound, we are really struggling with. And we worked hard on these 4 sessions now to get this better. And yeah, we choose the medium. We will know now after the race. I cannot tell you now. I hope the riders have to deal with, but we think that we will run in similar problems if we stay on the soft end of the race. So let's cross the fingers and hope we can manage in a better way.
Oh, that's a tough one, Mike, to be forced to use something, you know, tyre-wise. I want to wish you the best of luck. Hope you have some success tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much to Mike Leitner. Well, there you go. Forced into that one, and fingers crossed it's more hope than anything else. The fastest MotoGP pole positions, look at the names there. Lorenzo, Jorge Martin, Stoner, Marc Marquez. Doesn't get better company than that.
No, he's keeping some illustrious company there, isn't he? So KTM's hand force, they've not done a lot of laps, have they, throughout these 2 weekends on that medium front tyre. But last weekend, Brad Binder and Miguel Oliveira with about 9 laps to go on the right-hand side of that soft front tyre. They said they had nothing left. It was just a case of trying to stay upright and sunny side up. Similar problem for the Hondas, although all 4 Hondas are going soft and soft. Taki Nakagami saying yesterday he just can't feel the limit. The Honda always traditionally, like the KTM, likes to run the harder compound front tyres. They can't do it here because of the temperature. They're not willing to take a gamble. But Nakagami and other Hondas, they're on a real knife edge with front tyre performance.
Maverick Vinales looking for his 2nd victory of the season, back-to-back for the first time since 2017. His crew chief there to the left, Esteban Garcia. He said yesterday everything's in place. He feels fantastic on the bike. His rhythm certainly suggested that in FP4 as well. Here is Brad Binder then, forced into the option. 18th place on the grid. He is a hard charger. And you know that when we get back into Europe, we're going to be seeing plenty more of number 33, Brad Binder. If you're a KTM fan, don't worry. Things are going to get an awful lot brighter for these guys. Danilo Petrucci 1 place up. And Matt, you have to look a long, long way back. We're going to look here at Bastianini, of course. Brilliant 10th for him last week. A long, long way back on the grid to see a certain Valentino Rossi.
Yeah, 21st place, his worst ever in MotoGP qualifying. A humbling night last night for Valentino Rossi. Not a great start last weekend when he dropped from 4th to 16 before recovering to 12th place. Valentino Rossi having a very, very difficult time overstressing and overheating that rear tyre. It's been a problem that he's carried around for quite some time. No obvious solutions. You've got to feel that if Rossi can find his way into point scoring places, that's not going to be a bad rescue mission. But Valentino Rossi, a 4 times winner here in the past in damage limitation mode, no question.
There he is. The Doctor, number 46. I suppose on the bright side, it can't really get an awful lot worse than 21st. You can only make progress from there. We mentioned Honda's issues, and particularly the 2 LCR riders, who I'm sure will be looking to try and get out of here with any points at all. Nakagami and Alex Marquez. Let's cross down into the grid now. Lucio Cecchinello standing by with Simon.
He is. Lucio, we know you have factory Hondas, good machinery. You've got 2 very good riders, but it's been a tough trip here to Qatar, you know, for all the Honda riders. The thing is, I want to know, what would you hope that the riders can do for you tonight?
Well, realistically, we cannot, aim for the top 5. I would be very happy if we can finish within the top 10. It's going to be a tough race. A lot of riders are very, very fast, and especially, they are very, very close, Imagine that even this morning, by 3/10 faster, you would be from 14 up to 5th position, So in 3/10 of a second, there was 10 riders. So this is amazing. We need to improve a couple of tenths, and then definitely we can make a step forward. But as I recently said, I believe that our bike package in this racetrack, which we must use the soft front tire, we have a kind of movement in the front. When the rider arrives in the braking area, the bike is not really stable, especially floating a little bit with the front inside, going into the corner. And then whenever we put the harder compound, which is the medium compound, the problem is that we improve this feeling, but we dramatically lose grip. So we have no option. We need to use the front tire, and I do believe that we will be, it will be some tough lap, especially at the end of the race.
Lucio, thank you very much for that explanation. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, best of luck to Lucio Cecchinello. It really tells you the story of where Honda are at, Matt, when top 10 at best is what they're looking for here in just the second Grand Prix.
Yeah, quite a difficult weekend, hasn't it been for Honda? And what about this man, Jorge Martin?
We're getting closer and closer to the start of this Grand Prix then, as the dignitaries make their way off. You just saw the Prime Minister of Qatar on the front of the grid. along with FIFA President Gianni Infantino. Of course, the World Cup of football taking place here next year. He won't have seen anything quite like this, that's for sure.
Yeah, a Winter World Cup in 2022 here in Qatar.
But who wins MotoGP Round 2? The Tissot Grand Prix of Doha up ahead. A happy birthday, by the way, to Lorenzo Savadori at the back of the grid for this when he turns 28 today. The BMW roars away. We have got 5 minutes until the race starts. Even armed with the information from last week, Matt, it's so difficult to call this.
Yeah, because the conditions have changed so rapidly. Nobody has really been able to stumble across a setup which they're really confident and comfortable on. Tyre management, as always in MotoGP, will be crucial. Who's going to manage the tyres better? Jorge Martin dropped from 4th to 15th last weekend. He's expecting to keep himself in top 6 contention today. The nerves will be jangling yet again, though, from pole position for the first time.
He does look pretty calm on the grid. He was waving still to the camera. It didn't look like a rookie at all. Of course, he's so used to qualifying on pole. His 22nd career pole position.
Do not be surprised to see yet another lockout of the top 4 going into the first corner for the 4 Ducatis. What can the Yamahas do off that line?
From 3rd on the grid, this man won the race. He starts there once again here tonight. Maverick Vinales on the Monster Energy Yamaha. But it is a Pramac Racing 1-2 on the grid. They have gone so close to winning in MotoGP. Jack Miller twice last year got robbed. Pecco Bagnaia got robbed, of course, in Misano as well. In the past, Danilo Petrucci. Could it be Martin or this man, Johan Zarco, who looks like the favourite to deliver that for Pramac Ducati? We're about to find out. We are seconds away from the warm-up lap beginning here for the second round of the MotoGP World Championship in 2021. Here is your front row. Maverick Vinales starts from 3rd. 2nd for Johan Zarco, and on pole in just his 2nd Grand Prix, number 89, the man from Madrid, Jorge Martin.